Hey Grande Alive, this is Coffee with Will, brought to you by Grande Ronde Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Anything to Digital, EONI, Valley Realty, Country Financial, and Les Schwab Tire Center. And I'm here today with Dave Messenger, who is the manager over at Thai Fresh Gardens, and he is here today to talk to me a little bit about the restaurant himself and his unique story of being raised in Thailand, going to the United States, going back to Thailand, and finding his heart across the sea. So thank you so much for coming today and joining me to talk to me a little bit about this stuff.
Thanks for having me, Will.
Tell me a little bit about your story. Now, you're called Uncle Dave by the Thai community. Why Uncle Dave? How did you get that name?
Well, in the Thai community, especially in Thailand itself, everybody seems to be related one way or another. And no matter what color of your skin, whether you're considered a foreigner or whether you're considered an insider, if you will, politically and otherwise, you become a member of the family. I happen to be blessed with the fact that I was raised in Thailand, which already gave me 20 or 30 families.
Yeah, and you know, we've talked about this. It's very filial there.
Right, it's very filial, and it's all based around food. And the unique varieties of food in every region of the country draws families together, and whole communities become actually families, and you can never tell who's brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. And hence, on my second trip back to Thailand in my later years, it was automatic. They automatically would refuse to call me sir. They would call me uncle.
So it's kind of just a catch-all. Like, you don't know exactly who's related, so anybody who's been like directly connected to your family is an uncle or an aunt.
Correct. And since I'm not a Farang, they knew right away when I went back to Thailand after being raised there in very rural communities.
Now, what does that word mean that you just said there? Farang?
Farang. Farang is a choice word. You'll hear it coming off the airplane in Bangkok all the way. The Thai people consider foreigners. It's basically a slang word for a foreigner.
So kind of like, they have a name. In Hawaii, they have a similar,
haole?
Haole.
Yes.
It's the Thai haole.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Thai words that are familiar with Hawaiian verbiage, such as aloha. In Thailand, it's sawatdee.
Sawatdee.
It means many things, especially hello, how are you, all those things. Sawatdee is the same as aloha.
Sawatdee. Well, I'm gonna try and remember that. So at the end of this Coffee with Will, I can say Sawatdee Le Grande Alive, and then because does it mean goodbye as well? Can it mean goodbye as well? So it can mean hello and also goodbye.
Yes.
Very cool. Okay.
And anywhere you go, if you meet Thai people and they know you've been to Thailand, even the first thing they will even say to you is Sawatdee, and they will salute you. And if they know you're older, they will why you. Which this is called a why.
Why?
Sawatdee. It's a giving reverence to somebody older than yourself. And then the older person can return the favor and Sawatdee kap.
Very cool.
Is the man word. The women's word for it is Sawatdee ka.
Interesting.
It's a male-female connotation in the language. So,
Interesting. So now we're talking about like the filial aspect of Thailand. It's not similar to over here. Over here is very much more individualistic. We're very all about ourselves. I mean, I personally am not super filial. I'm getting more so as I'm getting older, but I'm definitely fall in this category. How is it coming from some place that is very filial back to the United States where it's not quite so filial? And maybe do you try to bring a piece of that with you?
Well, let me put it to you this way. When I returned to the United States for the first time, I was 8 years old, and I had been raised since 4 years old. All my friends were Thai. Very few people I knew even spoke English, and I went to Thai government school because my father was building a school in the Golden Triangle, if you will, back in the 50s. When I came back at that point in time, my first landing spot was in 1960 in the Bay Area, California. So my change in patterns as I was growing up was immediately in the 60s. My favorite place to go was Haight-Ashbury.
What you're gonna have? I'm tragically uninformed. Please explain. What is that?
The hippies back in the late 50s and early 60s, all generated around San Francisco and the Bay Area.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense to what you're saying.
So that generation, at between the age of 8 and 14 years old, I was raised into that generation.
So which in a way is sort of filial, and it's a little bit more family oriented. So it wasn't quite as much of a shift for you.
It wasn't quite as much as a shift for me until the next 4 years. I moved to Walla Walla, Washington.
Which your family still resides in, correct?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I'm the only one that decided to stay.
Okay. But you said your wife is still in Walla Walla. Correct?
Yeah, my wife is in Walla Walla.
Okay, gotcha.
I met her there, and her parents actually in Umatilla County, out of Walla Walla, homesteaded in the 1800s.
Cool. Okay.
So now I take care of that land too when I'm not having fun in LeGrand.
Fair enough. So let's talk about food, Thai food in particular. What is it about Thai food that is so special to you?
That is a very good question.
And you can think about that if you need to.
And special to me because I had the best food growing up. And sitting around thatched hut raised houses with groups of family, sampling everything in front of you. Not so much unlike dim sum, which is a Chinese version of dipping your food and eating it and having so many choices. I seem to like all the Thai spice food when I was younger. And as I grew older, I began to realize back in America, meat and potatoes. And I was on that till later on in life. Thai food is how would you say plethora? It has so many different flavors in every single dish. And you can taste every single flavor when it's done correctly, and that's what I consider authentic Thai food. Is when you can even get a very, very hot dish that has lots of Thai hot spices in it. You can still taste the sweet and the sour and the salty and all of that over the heat.
Yeah.
And I'm very familiar with the flavors, and I didn't realize it till I went back to Thailand to do disaster relief work, if you will.
Yeah. So now this kind of brings us into Dara, who's the owner over at Thai Fresh Garden.
Yes.
How do you go about getting Thai food to the place where you can taste all of the flavors? Like, how does that happen?
Well, it happens, I would like to say secret recipes, but they're actually culturally inherent recipes that are very seldom brought to the United States and put on the plate for Americans, for instance. The way she has set up her menus and the way she trains her professional chefs that come and work for her is a very how would you say the nuances of the actual cooking process. It starts with a wok with flames coming up around it. It needs to be exactly the right temperature before you start a dish. For instance, if you're doing a noodle dish and you put in an egg first, it has to be at just the right temperature. And
I am definitely not that kind of a cook.
You stir from there, and especially in the wok cooking. There's a real art to it. You run all the gas appliance from underneath the temperature with your knee because your hands are too busy.
Really?
Keeping things from burning and making sure everything is cooked perfectly. And there's a time when you put in a certain vegetable, a certain herb, and a certain spice. And it takes a real professional or somebody that really knows how to cook over that kind of a environment, if you will, to make it all pop. And when it comes out of the wok, goes on the plate, and gets to the table at the right time, when it's still
So you gotta eat the food when it gets there. You can't wait for it too long.
Before it blends or becomes mushy or anything like that. There's a real art to it, and it's a culinary art, and that's why we adopted sushi also for this venue. This is the first time that she's ever introduced sushi, and we've gotten. We had people to choose from all over the country that wanted to come work for her. And show their culinary artistry, and yeah, it's amazing that we've actually found. I had many Thai people that were ready and willing to come, especially to do the sushi and be able to Thai cook at the same time. We ended up with a young man from Guatemala who is an artist.
Wow!
And other than the language barrier, he's just an amazing for such a young person for what he's done.
Now, it's interesting to me because, here in the West, food generally is not art. Food is fuel.
Right.
But from what you're saying, where you come from, this type of food is special for us. But in Thailand, most of the food is of this quality. Is that correct?
Most of the food that you buy in a restaurant, for farangs, if you will, is what you find in Seattle and Portland and in the areas and most restaurants, if not all restaurants in America. Whereas the rural food and the street food in Bangkok and the places you go outside the city is where you find the real good Thai food.
Oh, okay. So that's the difference, is that the farang restaurants are not necessarily of the same quality as like the rural food that you're going to find over in Thailand.
And in Dara's case, for her to be able to emulate that rural flavor and that special taste, that special thing that makes it authentic Thai food in my world, is just amazing that she's been able to get the right people that do things her way, and
just make it happen.
And she makes it happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
she demands that it happens because she's set in her ways and she wants to do that. And being set in her ways, here she is in Grande. She tried to buy a Chinese restaurant to start her first restaurant almost 10 years ago. And she didn't quite, get the deal done. And in the meantime, I started working with her in many restaurants in the Tri-Cities and in Walla Walla, building them, putting them together. And we were able to find all the right people. And I made her a promise 7, 8 years ago that her first restaurant should and will be in Grande.
So why? That's my question. Like, why? I don't know the word. Forgive me, Grande Alive. Why condescend to come to a little town in the middle of nowhere that we don't know food very well? I mean, there are some oases, but what about Grande attracted you?
The first and foremost, especially for in Dara's case, is she needed to get away from the rest of her families and the rest of her restaurants in order to do her food her way. And not be relegated to do food the same way that everybody had been taught to do it in America. And Grande has never, still to this day, no matter what anybody says, they have never had real Thai food.
Wow.
Anywhere close. And here she is now, taking the best. Especially, we're still have an influx of people that want to come work for us now that we're officially open, and we get to pick and choose. Even our wait staff will improve.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so this is like something Grande has never seen before.
No, it's nothing that I would say it's nothing that anybody except for possibly Pendleton, where she started the restaurant after she realized it was going to take more than 1 year to open the restaurant here in the marketplace.
Wow.
And so we got her into a restaurant that had failed because they didn't take the correct steps to make it work in Pendleton. And because I had remodeled the building from a pancake house to a Thai restaurant with all the right equipment, she was able to slide in there in the meantime while we were working for the last 4 years now, 5 years, putting the equipment in here and getting it up to snuff.
Very cool.
There are no Thai restaurants that I know of anywhere that starts with all new equipment, especially in an old retrofitted building.
Now, that being said,
so the delays happens.
Yeah. Now, that being said, if you haven't heard, Thai Fresh Gardens is in the basement of the new Marketplace Underground building across the way under Nature's Pantry. You can access it through the Baby Cakes Bakery entrance on Washington Avenue. And, and so we are talking about the new Thai restaurant down there. Now, forgive me, I didn't mean to make it sound like I don't love La Grande, because I do love La Grande. It's amazing to me that you and Dara would choose someplace like La Grande to come and practice your art of Thai food cooking. Yeah. And it sounds like, it sounds like it's something you want to share with us.
Yes, and that's what it's all about for me, is I work for food. I'm the guy on the corner holding the sign up that says I work for food, and literally I do. I work for good Thai food because Thai people have shared the best they have. Every place I went in Thailand, and I went all over Thailand doing lots of different kinds of work in my later life. And sharing food is what makes families. And for me to be able to find somebody that makes the kind of food that I think everybody in the world should try at least once, and have a spot for her to hone in on as her ultimate final resting place, if you will, to where she can build the perfect restaurant in the perfect environment. It all comes down to sharing her food with the people of the Grande.
Wow.
And becoming family with them. She's very shy, and that's, I had a little problem getting her on the radio for her first interview ever.
Well, some of the greatest artists are very shy, they don't go around talking about their art, they just do it. And then, all the other people, like, us untalented hacks like me get to go out and talk about it with people, and let them and help them to talk about it and share it, kind of thing. So, wow, that is really, really cool. Well, goodness, that was going to be my last question. My last question is like, what are you hoping to share with the Grande? But that was like a really profound answer.
How did Dara and I come together? Is a very, very good question that I think the people of the Grande should know.
How did you and Dara come together?
Well, while after the tsunami hit in 2004, Boxing Day, the big tsunami in Indonesia and Thailand and whatnot, I had a calling. And the powers that be sent me to Thailand, and I hadn't been there since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
And I knew I had to do something, and I didn't know why. And the more I did things in Thailand with other backpackers and doctors and people that were looking for work, they wanted to help, but none of the government agencies and the aid and relief groups, would take them on. So we gathered up, made ad hoc groups, and we went all over southern Thailand. From one village to the next, rebuilding fishing boats and rebuilding all the things that they needed to sustain their life. And everywhere that we went, especially me, I went alone a lot. Everywhere I went, it was like, my farang jai di. They knew I was Thai. They knew there was something about me that was not American, even though I'd spent my whole adult life in America doing everything, playing sports and doing the entire thing. I didn't realize till at that point in time that I was Thai. I was still Thai from when I was 4 to 8 years old. Wow. In my heart. And my calling came, and it came from a power much beyond me or my wife, who we're believers.
Yeah, for sure.
And we just went sight unseen, and I went places that most foreigners would never go, and I was welcomed with open arms, fed first of all, and once I ate with them, then they would take me anywhere I wanted to go, do anything I wanted to do, and they realized that I wasn't there to give them money. And it went from there. When I started coming back and forth to America, back to home to take care of the mountain land and my property in the San Juan Islands from my family, it came down to finding in my heart what I really wanted to do was help Thai families. Call it pay them back or show them that yes, what I had learned culturally from an early age was still with me. And while I was going back and forth to Thailand every 6 months, every 6 weeks, back and forth, and taking care of one project that, after another that I was trying to finish up after 6 years after the tsunami, I started befriending all the families in the local area, and they all want to own their own restaurants. They all want, if they don't already.
Yeah.
And their family money is going back and forth, and they don't know how to operate the systems in America.
Yeah.
I ran into Dara, and I also ran into a chef that was going to be our first partner here in Grande. And he stayed with her for a year in Pendleton, and between the two of them made it work. After working for other people, especially in Walla Walla,
Yeah.
for 3 years, up to 3 years.
Yeah.
And I made her a promise. She came over and helped me build the neighbor's barn for nothing, her and her husband, and I just went, okay, so you still want to go to Grande? I said, when we find the right place for you, I promise you I will do everything in my power, in my heart, to make it work.
Wow.
And I chose Grande as much as she did.
Yeah.
But because I know people from Grande, and I know how things have gone economically and everything else. We ran into Al, who's basically rebuilding this part of downtown.
Yeah.
And he was so enamored with her story.
Wow.
How she came across the Mekong River as a young lady before she came to America, and helped her sisters escape back then.
Wow.
And he could see, especially after visiting Pendleton,
Wow.
and seeing what she could actually produce,
Wow.
that it came together. And I've been with her ever since. A 1-year project has now gone well over 6 years to be exactly where we are today, and being fully open now, and still having much work to do to make it the special place that she needs to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Wow.
and it all started from my revelation that I was indeed still Thai in my heart.
Wow.
And it all revolves around food, folks.
It's all about filling the bellies.
If you find the best food in the world, stick with it, and it'll carry you right to the end.
Wow.
So.
Well, I don't think I could end it any better than that. I think we'll probably leave it with that. So thank you so much, Dave,
You're
for
welcome,
coming
Will.
in and chatting with me and sharing the story.
Yes.
Again, this is Thai Fresh Gardens, basement of the Marketplace Family Foods, or the Marketplace Underground, not Marketplace Family Foods, Marketplace Underground, that is now open and serving. So if you haven't gotten the opportunity, head over there, get the first real Thai food that you have ever experienced in Grande. So thank you so much for tuning in Grande Alive. This has been Coffee with Will and Dave Messenger, brought to you by Ronde Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Anything 2 Digital, EONI, Valley Realty, Country Financial, and Schwab Tire Center. Please like and share the video, and tune into GrandeAlive.tv for more local content. I'm Will Bowman.